everyone. I'm Kathy Wing, and I'll be the host of today's meeting. I'd like to introduce our co-host for today, William John. He's in 12th grade from Highland Park High School in New Jersey. Christy Yu, she's in 10th grade going to Wellesley High School in Massachusetts. And Art Zhuang, he's going into 11th grade and he attends Great Neck South High School in New York. Now I'm going to turn over to William, who will kick off the start of this meeting.
Okay, so today, the day after Independence Day, we have gathered together to mark this formal start and inaugural meeting of the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States. The meeting will now commence.
And now, Art, can you give us some details about social media, contact, and general outreach?
Well, of course. So right now, we currently have a website at www.aylus.org right here. And we also have a Facebook group/Aylus. And we'll be using these platforms to basically connect to our members as well as use them as mediums of communication. So if you haven't joined the group already, please feel free to do so.
Awesome. Okay, now Christy, William, and Art will introduce the founders of the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States.
All right, first up, William John, going into 12th grade. His interests are science and basketball. He goes to Highland Park High in New Jersey.
Now we have Christy Yu, going to 10th grade. Her skills include art, writing, and she goes to Wellesley High School in Massachusetts.
Next, we have Arik Zhuang. He's going to 11th grade. His skills include computer science and debate. He goes to Great Neck South High in Great Neck, New York.
Now we have Stephanie Tan. She's going into 11th grade. Her skills include art and music. She's going to Hunter College High in New York.
Now we have Jackie Du, going to 12th grade. His interests include video games, piano, and he goes to Jackson Memorial High in New Jersey.
Now we have Alan Zhu. He is going to 11th grade. His strengths are speech and soccer. He goes to Lexington High School in Lexington, Massachusetts.
Now we have Hill Yin. He's going into 11th grade. His strengths include math, physics, and history. He goes to Manhasset Secondary School in Manhasset, New York.
Coming from Katy, Texas, we have Mei Zhang, going to 11th grade, and she's really good at art, math, music, as well as computer science, and goes to Cinco Ranch High School.
Okay, we have Cleo Sun, who is going to 11th grade. She's skilled at music and engineering. She goes to Seven Lakes High School in Katy, Texas.
Now we have Dai Yao Zhang. She's going into 11th grade. She enjoys piano and field hockey. She goes to Oyster River High School in New Hampshire.
Here we have Dragon Pang, going to 10th grade. He's good at fencing, violin, basketball, as well as graphics design. And he currently goes to Half Hollow Hills in New York, Long Island.
We have Iris Liu. She is currently going into 10th grade. She is skilled at Mandarin and piano, and she goes to Manhasset High School in New York.
Next we have Lubena Kuo. She's going into 10th grade. Her strengths include ping pong, speech, dance, and music. She goes to Doherty Valley High in California.
And here we have Elizabeth John. She's in 10th grade, and she's great at art, violin, and goes to Highland Park High School in New Jersey.
And now we have Alex Lin, who is going to 10th grade. His strengths include chess. He goes to Brentwood School in California.
Now we have Yani Lee. She's going into 10th grade. She enjoys swimming, and she goes to Squalicum High School in Washington.
Here we have Leo Tong, 10th grade, great at basketball, music, design, and programming. Currently goes to Archbishop Mini High School in San Jose, California.
And now we have Gan Yo. He's going to 10th grade. He likes robotics and science, and he goes to Clearbrook High School in Texas.
Next we have Ryan H. Liu. He's going into 10th grade. He enjoys tennis, piano, and video production. He goes to Palos Verdes Peninsula High in California.
Here we have Amy L. Yo, 10th grader, great at science, Chinese culture, and she goes to Laguna Beach High in California.
And this is Michelle Chang. She is going to 10th grade. She likes tennis and saxophone, and she goes to Amity Regional High in Connecticut.
This is Eric Wu. He's going into 9th grade. He enjoys math, programming, tennis, and swimming. He goes to Clements High School in Sugar Land, Texas.
Here we have Jonathan Liu, going to 9th grade. He's good at music, science, math, as well as debate, and he loves teaching. He goes to Seven Lakes High School in Katy, Texas.
And here we have George Kao. He's going to 9th grade. He loves programming, and he goes to McLean High School in Virginia.
Now we have Ruoya Yan. He's going into 9th grade. He enjoys computer programming, and he goes to Canyon Crest Academy in California.
Here we have Yang So Tang, a 9th grader. He's an expert at Kung Fu, soccer, as well as video games, and he loves playing strategy games, and he goes to William Fremd High School in Illinois.
And now we will be presenting the junior founders of the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States.
Here we have Julia Hay from New York.
And now we have Derek Fan from California.
This is Kevin J. Liu from California.
Another member is Max Su from New York.
And this is Jessica Fan from California.
This is David Lin from Texas.
Hailing from New York, we have Tiger Pang.
And here we have Mina Hay from New York.
And this is Jenny Shun from Texas.
Ethan Zhou from Virginia.
And this is Neil Pang from Texas.
I'd now like to reintroduce our host, Kathy Wang. Kathy recently graduated from Harvard College, where she held positions in a number of student organizations, such as editorial writer for the Harvard newspaper, The Crimson. She also served as the Gates Scholarship Local Representative for Massachusetts And she is a guest speaker for Ronald McDonald House Charities Outreach Seminars. Kathy will serve as the volunteer advisor for the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States. Now, let's welcome Kathy to deliver the keynote speech for today's meeting of Aylus.
Hi, thank you, Christy, and to Generally Aylus for having me here and allowing me the honor of serving as volunteer advisor. Today, I just want to talk about why I believe community service is extremely important and how I think Aylus really helps in connecting students with similar interests and harnessing the power of a collective group across the whole entire nation in order to get this stuff done. So I guess the question that most people ask is, who cares about community service and volunteering? Is it just something we do for college applications? And the way I try to think about it is, so for college, you obviously need to be smart to get in, but there's always another aspect, and that is leadership, volunteering, community service. Why are these important? Why do colleges look for these aspects in a person? And I believe it's because the most successful people are the ones who are problem solvers. They're people who are aware of the world around them, and they're people that want to enact positive change by bringing people together. It's not just the person that has an idea and goes off on their own. The people that make the most change and the most successful are the ones that are innovative and can harness a large group of people together. And yeah, I'm sure many of you guys are thinking, we're not even in college yet. You know, it's so far off, how can I be influential in any way? And I think that it's very important to start when you're in middle school and in high school to start recognizing the importance of the community. I think that wherever you are, in whatever circumstances you are in, there will always be certain friends, teachers, parents, advisors, family members who form your support network. They're people that provide you guidance and support when you don't really know what to do or you have a new idea, and they're the ones that support you in it. I consider these people your community. Your community is that group of people, that area that gives you opportunities and experience that end up shaping really who you are. And the biggest way to show gratitude to this community is just by giving back to it. So to me, that's why community service is super important, not just for college applications, not just to tell someone it's on your resume, but because it shows that you are aware of your surroundings and that you want to be a positive person. And you know, the most successful people in society are those types of people. So I know you guys are still kind of skeptical. What can high school students do? I mean, you guys are busy with schoolwork and extracurriculars and sports, right? How do you possibly have time to do another thing that you're not even really getting recognition for? Well, I think that that's one of the big issues of how do you start doing community service. The other one is you guys are young. You guys don't have that much experience. How can you really enact change? And that's something I think that Aylus also helps to address. You know, even though you guys are young, you guys have such great capacity to really influence change, to build several projects, to teach people about something that you're interested in. This all counts as community service. So when people say, what is community service? It's really anything that you can do to teach someone a new skill, to help someone in need. If you see maybe in your local community, you see there's a problem with like the homeless population, maybe you'll implement a project to help them, a food drive, something small, or something even bigger, resource advocacy. Or if that's not your thing, if you're just really good at art and music and you spend, you know, hours a day practicing, you can still engage in community service by maybe organizing a concert of benefit for maybe a veterans group or for senior homes. All of these things count as community service. When you're trying to engage in the community, affect other people with anything that interests you, this is all example of community service. So when it's pretty hard to come up with like a huge project, but little by little, by integrating your own interests and what makes you unique, you can easily come up with many projects. And that's where I think Aylus really steps in because, you know, on your own, sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas. But with Aylus, you have this emphasis on creativity and flexibility. And from what I've heard, most of the stuff, if anyone is interested in something, there will be a project for you. Aylus will help you develop a project and generate the ideas for community service. And then as to the second point about not having enough support, Aylus is there for you. Aylus provides this wide network of students that are just like you guys to connect with each other and realize, oh, there are other people with these interests. There are other people that want to do this project. And by working together and connecting across the nation, you're able to have so much more impact and, you know, develop even better ideas because you're with people that care about the same things that you do. So collective action is definitely something that I think is amazing about this group. If you guys, when you guys are able to get everyone together and come up with these ideas and create bigger and better projects, that's going to be amazing. So just to close, I'm really excited to work with all of you guys, with the Aylus national leadership and also local branches, and provide what support that I can. And now, William, can you share with us the mission of the Alliance of Youth Leaders?
Yes, I can. So the mission of the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States is that we want to promote the development of its members' creativity, leadership, and initiative through the planning and execution of volunteer projects that aim at benefiting their communities.
Okay, that's great. So now, Christy, can you explain to us the structure of how the Alliance of Youth Leaders is going to work?
Yeah, of course. So Aylus will be structured around one national and several local leadership groups. The national leadership positions include Vice President, President, Secretary, and Treasurer, as well as committee heads and their deputies for individual activities committees. National committees will include, but are not limited to, the following subject areas: art, music, and literature, science and engineering, international relations, public relations, business management, and information and technology. Nationwide projects will be coordinated through corresponding committees. Aylus encourages students with the dedication and interest to found new departments as the need arises. Leaders have one-year terms. New leadership positions will be open in May so that Aylus can accommodate for summer activities.
Okay, that makes sense. Arik, can you explain to us the structure of these local branches as part of the organization?
Sure. So regarding local leadership, these positions include president, vice president, as well as secretary. Now, we encourage students to develop local branches so that they can engage in activities within their local communities. Now, of course, every local branch will decide upon its own project, unique to their own, creativity, leadership, and desires, and they'll receive support from Aylus, as well as other branches across the nation.
Pretty good design. William, can you share with us about how Aylus is actually going to function going forward?
Yes, I can. So students will be creating their own unique projects and will receive corresponding community service credit for the hours spent preparing and executing each activity or program. For instance, if Aylus holds a student art auction for charity, the Aylus Art Committee will be responsible for allocating community service hours to each artist, commensurate with the number of hours spent creating the art piece and organizing the event, etc. At the end of the year, students who accumulate enough community service hours will receive a certificate for the President's Volunteer Service Award. More information on this can be found on the website.
Okay, so Christy, do you have an example of how to design and carry out an actual project?
Yeah, definitely. For example, if you love playing chess, Aylus can work with you to set up a series of video chess tutorials for beginners. Aylus will help promote and distribute these videos. Throughout this process, you will learn how to use your talents to contribute to the wider community, develop valuable products, connect with chess players, demonstrate creativity and leadership skills, and so much more. Aylus leadership will credit community service hours to the players corresponding to the hours you spent in producing these chess tutorials.
Okay, so William, how about, let's say, video game enthusiasts? Are there projects for them too?
Yes. If you're a game lover, Aylus can set up a project, such as build your own game with you. You can work with a group of fellow members to carry out Arduino or Raspberry Pi projects. Group members will help each other and share their knowledge and skills. Upon project completion, group members will make a video demo presentation. Aylus will circulate these videos to encourage their peers to start their own projects to promote creativity and passion for technology. Aylus leadership will credit community service hours to these gamers, corresponding to the hours spent on projects and demos.
And so, Arik, do you have any ideas for, students and members who love information technology, web design?
Got a couple. Now, of course, if you're a web designer, you can join the IT committee of Aylus to help update and maintain our website. Aylus will honor the time you spend in community service hours, of course.
Okay, that's pretty nifty. How about William, Christy, and Arik? For members who may want to start their own projects totally unrelated, what kind of help could Aylus offer?
There's a lot. So if you're a self-starter, you can create your own project. As long as your project has a positive impact on the community, Aylus can create a new club for you and offer support. There is no timeline or strict guidelines. Feel free to be creative. Aylus will honor the time spent on these projects with community service hours.
Aylus will always stand by our talented members. With the support of Aylus and your fellow members, you can fully widen your reach, hone your skills, and build your path to success.
Okay, so now it's time for some Q&A. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to call 845-521-7540. Once again, that number is 845-521-7540. Or you can always post your questions on our Facebook group, www.facebook.com/groups/Aylus. So we'll be waiting online. Okay, so to start off, what is the function of Aylus?
Aylus promotes creativity, leadership, and initiative in its student members nationwide. Aylus strives to develop the potential of its members to both benefit the individual and as well as the community.
Okay, so the next question we have is Aylus 100% student run?
Yeah, to a degree. Students are completely responsible for running Aylus, although certain activities will be subject to approval and supervision from the Board of Advisors.
Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have, how will Aylus ensure that community service hours that are given are fair and appropriate to the activity?
That's a good question. Well, you see, the motto of Aylus is leadership, integrity, and innovation, and we intend to follow that. Aylus will always conduct its activities in a fair and honest manner. Now, corresponding Aylus committee members will decide, as a group of course, on the number of service hours to be given. The committee itself is responsible for communicating with the person receiving the hours to provide their decision rationale. Now, if the recipient feels that their hours are unfair, they can always send an appeal to the Board of Advisors on the national branch.
Okay. And I guess another question we have is, who can join Aylus and how do they do so? Is there any criteria that's needed to join Aylus?
Well, anyone with a dedication and motivation to make an impact on their community can join Aylus.
Okay.
Aylus members, however, must be between 9th and 12th grades.
Okay, thank you.
Junior Aylus members must be between the grades of the 1st grade and 8th grade. Junior Aylus members are required to have parental supervision for any volunteer work.
Hi, this is Aylus. Okay, yeah, okay, got it down. Okay, great, thanks for calling in. So, our question for today is, if I'm interested in promoting one specific topic or project, who should I reach out to?
That's a great question. If you're interested in something specific, you can request to create a national club. To do so, you can reach out to the appropriate committee topic head, the national president, and the board of advisors. Details about this process will be posted on our website.
Great, thanks for calling. Okay, so our caller wanted to know if you could clarify the hours for projects, how you guys are determining that?
Well, like we said earlier, it's based on what committee you're in. So for example, if you make a piece of art, let's say, it's the responsibility of the art committee to determine the number of hours. And if you feel like it's unfair, you can always send an appeal. So it's dependent on the respective committee to decide.
Great, that totally makes sense. So the next question we had was, how do you create a local branch?
To create a local branch, you need to first contact the national president and the board of advisors in order to start a local branch. Once a local branch is recognized, it can immediately begin receiving support from the national organization. So details about this process will also be posted on our website in the future.
Yeah, okay. I'll post that to the group. Thanks. Okay, so our next question is going to be, how and when will Aylus leaders be chosen?
That's a good question. So regarding leaders, they'll be chosen by the beginning of May on an annual basis in order to, accommodate for upcoming summer projects. To be eligible, however, applicants must be an Aylus member. They have to complete a position-specific application, and they also have to conduct an interview with the board of advisors. They'll be evaluated on their historical contribution as well as commitment to Aylus.
Hi, this is Aylus. Hi. Okay, that's a great question. I'll pose it to the group. Thank you. Okay, so our next question is going back to community service. They're just generally interested in, for the national group, are the community service hours going to be determined? How so? I'm guessing it'll be amongst the groups of the national members and the board of advisors.
Definitely. And also it all depends on which project you're choosing. And that will also fall under department heads. And the committee will decide for you.
Okay, great. Oh shoot, it actually looks like it's time to wrap things up for today. But if anyone else has any further questions, now or later, please feel free to post in the Aylus Facebook group, and someone will get back to you ASAP. Just join the group, post your question, and we'll definitely be monitoring it. Thank you guys all for joining us for this inaugural kickoff of Aylus, and we appreciate the feedback and all the questions that we've been receiving. And we really look forward to working together to make a positive impact on our communities. Have a great evening, everyone.